Right, so we have half an hour to go into this smart cities type of thing. Our panelists have been introduced, and I'll go straight into it. I'll go with Sofia. I'm not a great lover of the smart cities tag, but we'll talk about the facts and the issues, and we'll let everybody take an opinion whether these are in fact smart cities. And because we work at Cisco, and Cisco is the connectivity company, I mean, you put the world together in more ways than one. I would like to tell us what has been really making a difference in terms of connectivity in cities, and most importantly, what do you think will be the next breakthroughs in technology that will now allow cities to be more interconnected?
Thank you. First of all, thanks for the invitation. It's an honor to be here in one of the most important sectors of our economy, and also to be here among so many startups. I mean, we are not a startup, but we need startups for us to succeed, and for our economy to succeed, and for the tourism to innovate. Going back to your question, so we have been implementing across the world many examples of what we call smart and intelligent cities. And there are a lot of examples that not only resonate with I mean, efficiency, cost efficiency, and giving more quality to the lives of the citizens, but also they also resonate with tourism. And so we have very close examples. Barcelona is a very important smart city for Cisco, where we have a lot of examples. The city has come with a very strategic plan, and this is for me the key. It's that smart city is not only a few projects, it's really a strategic approach to the city. And one of the things that I believe resonates more with tourists is the Wi-Fi connection. So the city has given Wi-Fi connection, Wi-Fi for free to the tourists, well, to the tourists, to everyone that is in the city. It's around 35% of the city is already covered. And so what this enables is that not only the tourists can save money, but they also have a lot of information that are available to them, and so they have more time and more information to take more advantage of the city. And we have estimated that there are around 84 million of revenue, extra revenue in the next 10 years that will come just out of this. So with this, what we can do is that we can give them localized services. So if I know where the tourist is, I can give him relevant information according to the place where he is, or according to a kind of a segmentation that he has given.
So you're talking about what already exists. So Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi, great breakthrough. Who started the idea of free Wi-Fi? Who pays for it?
So this is a third-party company that is doing partnership with the city, and what they do is that then they have a revenue model linked with advertising. So the private institutions, then if they want to be there in these localized services, they pay for it.
So it was the idea of this third-party company, so a business opportunity, which is to provide free Wi-Fi, generate traffic, sell advertising.
Yes.
Right? And in fact, who pays for it are the users.
Yes.
By watching advertising.
Yes, exactly. And another good example is, for instance, the bus tracker. This is not only for the tourists, but I mean, we know that tourists use the public transportations, and this is from the city of Chicago. And what you can do is, if you're in a bus stop, you can send an SMS with the number of the bus stop, and you'll receive the 3 buses that will come in the next couple minutes. And so it's an added value service that, I mean, it's simplifying life. But like these ones, there are a lot of them, because then you have the most basic ones that are meant for the city to have operational and efficiency costs, like the trash, I mean the smart trash. I know that you don't like the word smart, but...
I don't like the word trash either, so...
Well, but you like this one. So the smart trash, for instance, is that, I mean, all the trash truck goes to every single trash in the city, and some of them are empty or half full, and so you're wasting gasoline, you're polluting, you're doing a lot of noise, and only bad things. So what we are doing is putting sensors on each one of the trash bins so that you can optimize the route, and the truck doesn't have to go to every single bin, but he only goes to the bins that he needs to go. And so by doing this, I mean, you can imagine the benefits.
Okay, but what I really wanted to know is the secrets. What is Cisco working on that will make the next generation of smart cities even more efficient?
So the secret is not a secret. It's imagine that all the network has a lot of information, and this information is only useful if it can be treated and if it can then be used for us to take very good decisions, even better decisions. And so what we are working currently is on how to extract this information from the infrastructure in an automatic way, so that the infrastructure itself can take decisions. For instance, imagine that you are always working on a certain building, but then you want to schedule a meeting in another building. He knows exactly where you are, and he can schedule a meeting room knowing your preferred location. Or, I mean, there are lots of things that you can extract from the infrastructure that give you decisions in advance, and that's where we are working now.
Great, I'm sure you'll come back to it. Paulo is probably too modest to admit this, but he's one of the persons which made Lisbon advance more in terms of innovation. And but how far are we behind cities like Barcelona? What would you say our reference projects are? What should they be?
We have started this strategy around economy, innovation, information, knowledge, strategic clusters. Is it working? So I'm not so innovative. We started 5 years ago. This strategy, for people that are not from Portugal, in Portugal there was no tradition of cities to have a strategy around this issue. It's clearly amazing, but there was no background of a strategy around these areas in cities, in city councils in Portugal. Barcelona is working on these areas for 25 years, so this is the first information. First key data, it's fact. But now, as you all know, we were awarded by the Committee of the Regions, and we are the European Capital of Entrepreneurship. Web Summit is coming this year. We have a flourish, a very dynamic ecosystem on entrepreneurship. We can cross-fertilize startups, incubators, accelerators, fab labs, big multinational companies, big Portuguese companies, universities, research centers. And everybody's saying that we are the next San Francisco, the next Berlin. So, as you all know, we are living a miracle. This is a miracle, really. Right? We are living a miracle. Right. But it's a miracle only for people that believe in miracles. I don't believe in miracles, so this is the result of really, real hard work from a lot of people. For example, starting with AI. We are working with them from the beginning, and they already exist before. We are working with a lot of incubators, a lot of stakeholders, different kind of stakeholders. We are working very, very hard. So this is not a miracle, this is a result of not just really hard work, but a strong ambition. The first thing is have a great ambition to make Lisbon one of the most competitive, innovative, creative cities in Europe. This is the first statement that we designed and projected in the first presentation that we had made 5 years ago. And is always with us in every presentation, in Portugal, in Lisbon, in China, United States, whatever. So a very strong ambition, a strong vision for the future, and a strong strategy around 4 major engines. Attracting of companies, investments, and talents, first engine. Second one, make Lisbon a startup city, second engine. The third one is how can we bring universities, how can we bring talents, how can we bring researchers to this strategy? Because, as you all know, universities, they work differently, and it's not so immediate and directly understandable. How can they be part of this movement? And the fourth one is, what are our major sectors for the future? What are the major clusters? Of course, Lisbon has a strong sector, strong industries. The first one is tourism. It's amazing. what we all have been able to do, in particular you. But it's not just the tourism industry in Lisbon. Lisbon is not just tourism. And so we have 45 major areas. And one of those areas are those that are very difficult to delimitate because they are not verticals. And one of those is smart cities. So the first question is, what is smart cities and how can you integrate smart cities in your own strategy?
So how do you look at it? How do you look at it as a city?
Well, first of all, we have a lot of projects that we can include in what we usually call smart cities. Smart energy management systems, open data, everything that relates, for example, with the big data, everything that relates with mobility, electric mobility. I'm driving an electric car. Most of the municipal fleet is constituted of electric vehicles. There are a lot of projects. One of the big projects of the European Union, a flagship project for smart cities, it's the Smart Cities 30 million project for a consortium of 3 leading cities. We have won it this year, that project, with London and Milan. So I can just go on, and we have more than 20, 30 projects. But if you ask me, do we have a strategy? I think we are now designing and implementing a strategy. Because a strategy is, like Sophia was telling, is one of the most important things. Because with a vision and a strategy, you can just organize different kind of projects. And we have 4 areas for this strategy. The first one is everything that is digital. There are a lot of projects that relate with digital. Some of them, Sophia was just talking about, and we are working on them in Lisbon. The second one is mobility. For example, we have Mobi-E. We have more than 500 rechargeable stations for electric vehicles in the city of Lisbon. It's just amazing. If you say something like this to someone that don't know Lisbon, it's just an asset that we need to put forward. The third part is everything that goes with participation, with opening and bring people to work with the data of the city, work with the city and make Lisbon a lab. There are a lot of things that we can do. Some of the things we are doing now. And the third and the fourth one is energy. Everything that relates to energy. And in the center, we should put people. Because
okay, two quick follow-up questions for 2 quick answers. When will we have free Wi-Fi in Lisbon? And secondly, I forgot, but I'll let you know.
Well, that's the most important question. But that question is somehow political, needs a political answer.
It didn't need a political answer in Barcelona. Well, somebody went to the municipality and struck a deal.
I can say that we are working hard on that.
Do you know who the company in Barcelona is?
I know.
Yeah?
I know.
Go to
I
them.
can say.
Yeah?
I can't say much now,
yeah.
But let me just say this. A public Wi-Fi network will be a very decentralized, a very organic network. You can put Wi-Fi on public buildings, municipal buildings. You can, and we will have Wi-Fi hotspots, sensors, and other equipment in bus stations.
We have a great startup in Portugal called Veniam, may be part of the solution.
Yes, and we can put it on luminaries and other stuff.
Right. Second question was, I remember now, how much of this have you shared with other municipalities? Because opening up data cannot be done by a single city individually, right? So it needs an overall, maximum couple of APIs open to people who want to develop business based on the data that municipalities have.
That's true. That's a huge.
Who do you talk to?
Now we have made 3 years ago. We had some data from the municipality open to the public, and some of startups were
Where can people find out what that data is?
In Lisbon City Council website. But it's not so important what there is now today, but what we are going to have in the future. We are just finalizing until the end of this year a new package of data and APIs with open data of the City Council, city agencies, and a lot of georeferenced data. And this is a completely new approach to that kind of a very important area of open data that we are somehow getting behind in the last 2 years. Started very well 3 years ago, but now we need to push forward. But we are starting with our own data, with the City Council, agencies, and different kind of entities that somehow gravitate along the city.
Okay, so until the end of the year, you have a commitment here. There will be new data open to all of you to try and make some business out of it. Luis is now manager of tourism, but he had a great experience, a great school, because he was for many years at Turismo Portugal, right? You're the only one specifically devoted to tourism here. So my question to you is, what has tourism to do with what can tourism do to help smart cities move along faster, and what can tourism gain from having smart cities work as smart?
First place, let me tell you that, in fact, it was a great school. I've learned a lot, especially in the last few years.
Especially because you left soon after I entered. So.
And I had the pleasure to be involved in the first tourism days. Somehow, coming here to the 5th tourism day is something that gives me some confidence that we are going through the right way. How is everything related with the smart cities impacting in the tourism sector?
Okay. How is everything impacting the tourism sector? Of course, if the urban landscape is changing due to technology, and if smart cities is the improvement of quality of life and sustainability of the cities by the use of technology, of course, travelers can benefit a lot from this new context. In first place, because travelers are changing too. This transformation is not only in cities, it's all over the world. And the way people travel is different, has changed in the last years. People that go in a travel, both leisure or business travel, they take with them at least one device, most of the times 2 devices, and they expect to stay connected. So this is a very important question. So if we want to look at the traveler from the side of the city, let's say that when we think about strategy for the cities, we have to be able to consider a specific kind of citizen. It's the temporary citizen, that is the traveler. What does this new traveler needs when he's visiting the city? He needs access to services, he needs access to contextual services, he needs access to mobility, he needs access to social interaction, a different kind of social interaction, but social interaction. And the digital connection is now providing this kind of advantage. Of course, it's critical that all this can be encapsulated in the concept of experience, okay? And this mediation between the traveler and the points of interest in the city, the services, it's a key asset that can bring a smart city to become what we call in general a smart destination. So the key question, the key challenge is to be able to look at the customer journey, of the traveler journey through his experience in the destination, and to improve all the touch points during this period. That's why connectivity is so important, and that's why most of the cities are investing a lot in connectivity. Most of these services are common services, both for citizens and for travelers. So this is a very important question. The problem is that if we don't consider initially in the strategy of the city the specific needs of this temporary citizen, we will not be able to provide the service. And when we talk about access to services, we must consider also that this evolution is not the city as an abstract entity. The city is the municipal administration, it's the services provided to the citizens, but it's also the companies that provide services in the city. So,
do you think there will reach a stage in which travelers will choose destinations depending on whether or not they are smart and they have all these connectivity elements and these services available? Will it be a marketing tool?
Not exactly. What I believe is...
Why should we care?
The travelers choose the city based on the experience they can live in the city. So, and the fact is that the smart cities, or smart destinations in this case, are more able to provide a good experience to the traveler. So that's the relationship.
Okay.
It's not because the technology is there, it's because technology is an enabler to approach the tourist to the experience. providing this level of interaction. Technology is a kind of mediator between the tourists and the city.
Okay, I'll now like to put the same question to all three of you. Intervene, interrupt, do whatever you like, because we have an audience here of startups. Potential startups, actual startups, people within the ecosystem, okay? So I would like to tell you to tell them what you expect them to do for you and what you can do for them in your respective areas of activity. Stimulate them to do something, to ask you something, or to be prepared for you to ask them something about their level of activity. Look at them, look at their faces, all their dreams floating around. Okay? Tell them what can startups expect to be able to do with or to do for smart destinations.
I may start. First, I would like just to complement something that you just asked. According to the World Economic Forum, there are 5 criteria that are the differentiator criteria of each city, of each country in terms of tourism, and one of them is the ICT maturity. So I agree with you. I think it's a matter of experience because the ICT and the technology enables this everything. So I think it's very important, and cities like Lisbon that are becoming more and more active on this, on understanding how can technology be at the serve of the tourists and the citizens. So coming now to your question, in terms of startups, here's your question. So companies like Cisco, they have, for instance, Cisco has the infrastructure, has some solutions that live on top of the infrastructure. For instance, like I mentioned before, the localization of the people, so that we can send messages to the people, but also things like cybersecurity or even physical security that unfortunately is becoming more and more important. Things like video vigilance, or even video vigilance together with data analysis in a way that we identify people and the system, the infrastructure identifies whenever this person approaches to a certain building or a certain part of the city. Immediately there is a flag to the authorities. So what Cisco needs from startups is your proactivity, your energy, your creativity, your innovation on a daily basis.
Do you have some sort of unit that receives?
Yes,
is it you?
yes, it can be me. So
can be you, or it
yes,
is you?
Sofia.tenreiro@cisco.com. So feel free to send me your ideas. We have both locally and internationally. As you probably know, Cisco, one of Cisco's main ways to develop and to build is through acquisitions. So typically we acquire a lot of companies. I mean, 2 weeks ago we acquired three companies in 3 days. So we are very, very active on that, because we need you. I mean, we more and more we are working towards business outcomes. So we go to a city like Lisbon and we think, I mean, what are your challenges? And we work together with the city. What are your challenges? And we just don't provide the Wi-Fi connection, because that is not of any use for the city, because as was mentioned, the strategy is the most important part. So we need to integrate everything so that the end customer benefits from an integrated solution. And for that integrated solution, I need you. I need all the startups and all the startups that are in Portugal to showcase your innovative projects, so that then we can integrate with yours. Because typically Cisco has the infrastructure, has the layer of automation that allows the infrastructure to communicate with the apps, but then we need the layer of the apps. So that's why it's fantastic to have so many people
Great,
here.
you sold me. I mean, Cisco could be a good partner, so...
we need you.
Yeah, make a note of Sofia's number and name. Paulo, what can you tell them?
Well, first of all, it's for startups that are coming to the Lisbon Challenge or the acceleration programs, and they are here in Lisbon for 3 months. I just ask you and invite you to stay here, because this is an amazing city. The weather, the sun, the sea, the river, the surf, the food, the people. But
if I have a great idea, I think could or should interest the municipality of Lisbon, what
yes.
do I do? I go talk to you.
That was the first part of my pitch.
Okay.
Usually people smile and clap. Amazing. I know Lisbon, I know. I was there for 3 days, it was amazing. But then, did you ever start a company in Lisbon? Did you ever invested in Lisbon? Do you ever have an excellent top-rated executive education program in Lisbon? And the answer is the opposite. Usually people never did that in Lisbon. So this is our thing now. So the first thing is come, if you are here, stay here and explore the city, because you have all the conditions to stay here. This is what we have done, not the city council. We are orchestrators, we federate entities, we stimulate, we are open, completely open. I can give you my email also, and it's true, everybody talks to me.
Should be on the board there.
So everybody
we'll deal
talks.
with it later.
And it's some of the people that are here already have meetings with me, so it's for real. I'm not just making up. So the first thing is you can have the capability of found your company, establish your company, and be based in Lisbon, because Lisbon now has all the conditions to be the hotspot and the base to be global. So this is our main work.
Okay.
The second thing is we can offer you some conditions, of course.
I'm witness to that. I think the municipality has done a great job, and it's not for lack of conditions and lack of help from the municipality that startups don't establish in Lisbon. In fact, they do that in increasing numbers. And Luís, to round us off, tell us what all these startups can do for you, and more importantly, what you
I'm in the middle of the process, not in the side of the startups, neither in the side of the institutional. But I believe that Lisbon can become in the next few years really a living lab for tourism innovation. And this is a very important question. We have perfect conditions to develop innovation because we have the customers here, the tourists are here, representing an enormous diversity of segments and characteristics. So what do we need? On one side, in order to become a smart city, and I support your point of view, we need an open data platform that allows companies, startups, for instance, to build services on the top of this. Okay? Open data connectivity that allows to use public data to build services, and this is very important. On the other side, we need a stronger collaboration between the public authorities that somehow are doing this part of the job, namely Turismo Portugal and Câmara de Lisboa, in this case specifically, but on the other side from the companies, from the incumbent companies. There is a strong advantage of putting together traditional business and startups. Why? Well, because in order to take advantage of this new environment, this urban environment, traditional companies need to evolve, need to go through the digital transformation. And that's something that must be very intense. And startups have a major role in this process. And finally, we need investment. And investment means that companies like Cisco or Amadeus are doing their job and investing in new companies, but we need to attract investors in a global scale, because we have all the other conditions in order to become really a living lab. And living lab means that we are building innovation every day and putting it in the hands of the customers and trying it, and it can become really the center of innovation, one of the most important centers for tourism innovation in the world.
Right, thank you very much. On that note, I hope this was helpful to you, that you now know who to address to and what with your ideas and what you can expect from these people on the panel and others that you will do with the networking. So I'll ask you to give a big round of applause to our three speakers, and thank you very much.